Yeah, that actually has a couple good stories linked into it. So that deer, my wife was pregnant, and we ended up having my son. I think it was 4 days after I shot that deer, and I'd already shot a buck earlier in the season, a smaller 8-pointer, and I was super excited because I knew once my wife was having the baby, I'm done. My season's over. I'll be home all the time, helping out.
So I told my wife when we just had our first kid in June, but we planned it so that he wasn't born during hunting season.
Well, it's funny because before we knew he was due, like right in the middle of the rut, and I was joking the whole summer. I said, I'm gonna, that kid's never gonna live it down. I'm gonna make, because I thought I was not going to have a productive season. I had a lot going on, and didn't think I was gonna hunt a lot. And I had an awesome season. I saw a handful of mature bucks that season, and I shot 2. So you can't ask. I was excited just to shoot 1.
I think there's something to the luck of your firstborn son, your first baby.
So that deer, I'd said to my wife I was done already before that day. My wife was going to be induced. She was a week late, so she was going to be induced the following Monday. And that Friday, I needed to take my dad, who was ill, I needed to take him to a doctor's appointment that day. So I said, you know what? His appointment's later. My parents live close to where I was hunting. And I said I will take the day off and I'll just hunt in the morning just for the heck of it. It's the middle of the rut.
Did you have to get permission from the wife?
I don't even remember. I'm sure my wife had a lot of things to say as far as, hey, we got something going on next Monday. But no, my wife's like ridiculously supportive of hunting. And, I could probably go on and talk about stories with just her for, an hour. But, no, she was really supportive, but I'm sure she had something to say. But, like, what are you going to do with that deer if you get it,
And at that point, you got it's scheduled, right? You know when the baby's coming.
Oh, sure.
Right? So.
Sure. So we knew. I mean, I had a lot of things to do that weekend to get ready to go. We were going to the hospital. So I really, not expecting to shoot something. I'm just going out to sit in the woods one more time, see stuff. That's the win right there if you get to see stuff. So I went in the stand. Again, I was filming. At this time, I was filming my wife. Again, super supportive of hunting. She had purchased me this thing from Cabela's that can mount to your bow, and you can put a camcorder on it, which a lot of guys probably think that's insane. You're going to throw the balance off of your bow and all that. I just got used to using it, and I filmed a few deer that I shot with that. Probably 3 bucks.
You had to practice with it all summer, right?
Sure, I practiced with it, but I got used to it pretty quick. So I had that thing on, and the only thing stunk about it is it shakes when you shoot. But I did not care about the actual footage. I'm just doing it for myself. I was doing it for my dad at the time, so I could bring footage for him to watch.
Yeah.
So I'm using that. And that morning, I had 2 small bucks come by, and the second one came by and was standing broadside at 15 yards. And the funny part about that is you can hear me on the video say that, why can't a 10-pointer do that? Because he was standing right there broadside at 15 yards. That's right. And sure enough, the buck ended up shooting. He stood in that exact spot.
That same day.
10-pointer the same day, an hour later. And so when he came down, I remember I was texting with my cousin, and we were going back and forth, and I was like, God, I'm seeing bucks. They're all little the last few days. And I said, I think they're just all locked up with those. All the mature bucks are locked up. I said, I think I even said, I'm kind of glad. I'm not worried now that I'm not hunting next week, because I just think they're locked down. I literally hit send on that text, and I heard this twig snap up behind me, and I looked up and I saw his side profile, and I was like, all right, that's a monster. I'm like, everything, you start breaking down, and I'm like, started panicking. And
how many times since then have you been sitting in the stand, seen a small buck, and said to see if you could repeat it, I wish you were a 10-pointer.
Oh, yeah.
You have to do that all the time now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was ridiculous the way it happened.
I'm going to start doing that.
He even came from the same spot, the same direction behind me, downwind. I think that was the first year I started using buck bomb, and that's the other reason I had sprayed buck bomb in the area too. So, that helped obviously bringing him into that area. But,
yeah, we'll talk some strategy when you're done with this story about buck bombs, rattling, all that stuff.
But so that deer came down, and he was zigzagging, and then he angled. I almost was going to shoot him at 35 yards, but he was moving, and at the last second he angled and turned and came right at my stand. And he just turned broadside. He didn't stop where I'd sprayed the buck bomb, but he walked right through it, and I whistled and stopped him and shot him at like, I think it was like 15 yards. And I honestly at the time I knew I hit him behind the shoulder somewhere, but I wasn't sure, and he bolted. And if you look in that video, even the quality's not that good because it's an older camera. I mean, when I saw I saw him run for 60, 50 yards anyways, and all I saw, that huge rack from behind, and I watched him run the whole way. And well, it's funny because he went down right within sight, but I didn't see it and I didn't hear it. He just happened to go down like maybe 60 yards, if that.